So, funny thing, I just played a game in my Leopard 1 because I am now working on the review for this bad boy. And as always, I'm enjoying my time in this vehicle. This is really one of my favorite tanks. I played this one exclusively in the ranked game mode, and you can see that right here that I played 31 games. And I had a 61% win rate, which is quite difficult to achieve whenever you're playing kind of ranked, but you can see that the majority of my tanks are actually in the in a good spot. Most of them are pretty OP, such as the VZ55, but the Leopard 1 was just one of those tanks that really fit my playstyle very well, and I ran with it. So I started recording the game because I want to go more into the direction where I do live action commentary gameplay, because I also want to live stream a bit more. And I still think that the best gameplays that you'll actually see are the ones where, I cannot choose the replay from, where I have to adjust my playstyle and I really have to go through all of the things that I know. And it turns out I had a really bad start where I lost about 90% of my HP in the first 2 minutes, but we still managed to turn it around, and I still managed to win that game. With second highest damage, especially against a crowd that was really, really well placed in the end. Like, they had really good defensive positions. And I thought that gameplay would be really nice. Now it's just a replay that I have. But we're going to jump into another one, and I'm not going to stop recording with this one. I'm just going to keep it rolling. The thing is, I'm just not really sure if I'm going to upload any of this, because it's fairly planless, I like to have a little bit of structure. I like to have a little bit of an idea of what I want to do, but at the same time, I need to have a little bit more of a spontaneous side to me. So we're going to be playing this match, and hopefully I can show you guys my way of, or my thoughts when I'm playing Leopard Prototype 8. So basically we're playing a tier 8 match, and I want to go for the hill because I am going to be one of the fastest tanks up there. 75 kilometers top speed on this vehicle with the turbo, so I should be one of the first tanks up there. I'm hoping that I get some assistance from the back, and I'm just gonna be playing my my lucky card. Hopefully it'll work out for me, because the only thing that should be faster than me is the Kunze, or about the same speed, because the Kunze has this accelerator, the same modification that other medium tanks have. And right there you can see the Kunze is the first one we just spot right there, and I'm gonna try to actually reverse and put one into the T62, but it doesn't work out, and now I have a bit of a problem with a Kunze up here with the T62. And we have to somehow keep this corner if we want to stay alive. But we get some help, which is pretty much the best scenario I can, or best thing I can ask for. And they are not worried about eating shells, so I'm just gonna go eat one of them. So everything is evened out, because I think it's a bit unfair if all the tier 8 and 9 tanks, take all the hits for me. And basically, by this point, we've already won the game. The amount of HP that they've lost, the amount of tanks that they've just lost in this push, is just too much. They lost 2 of their highest tier tanks, and at least one of them is a good one. Now, I'm talking about the Kunze. The T62A, it's just not very, very strong anymore, but the Kunze certainly, I think that's a tank that's quite enjoyable. And we hit the batch at 155.58 for a whopping 489 damage, leaving him on a very low amount of HP. Now, with the beauty about this tank is you have 105 millimeters of penetration on the high explosive shell, and you can see right here this this poor Manticore basically doesn't have any armor. I'm gonna eat a shell right there because I don't really worry about my HP at this point too much, which usually is a very bad thing to do, because even though I just said that this game was going to be won in no time, they still have captured one part of the map, so it still looks quite open. So a little bit of a arrogant, a little bit of arrogance right there, and we also get punished for being very exposed. So it turns out that this game might be still interesting if we don't play our cards right. So because I do have the advantage of my incredible gun, I'm still gonna be sitting right here and I'm letting the heavy tanks over there spot for me. And I get a lucky bounce. Doesn't happen often. And I should definitely use these bushes to the left here. At least when I have these bushes, I am going to be able to stay hidden for at least before I shoot. So we have an M103. He's crossing. I'm spotting him. And very nice, easy 747 assistance damage. So that's why you always skill your view range and your camouflage values whenever you're playing a tank. And unfortunately, we haven't had a high explosive shell loaded for the SC-130PM, but it's fine. So I guess I'm gonna switch over to high explosive again, just to see if I can get one more hit into the Burrasque. And I'm gonna be closing the distance, because the next two tanks are the Burrasque that I want to focus on, because he's a very dangerous tank. The Skoda T56, if we can knock him out of the game. And the Conway. The Conway, all three of these tanks are dangerous, and two of them lack any real armor. With the Conway and the Burrasque. Just trying to see if I can actually climb these rocks here and have a little bit of a easy shot at the Conway. Yeah. Another Conway takes care of the Conway that we were targeting. And now it's all about getting our hands dirty on the Burrasque. Unfortunately for us, this Rheinmetall Borsig put a pretty big dent into him before we were able to fire our high explosive shell. So, oh, yeah. I do not want to get hit by the Skoda T56. He might high roll and kill me, and since I really do not have enough armor to deal with him, I'm just gonna hide here. And having the new outline features, you know, they're really, really handy, and they allow you to do a lot of things. So I'm just gonna switch over to the M53, 55, and there we go. We win the match. We still have 543 HP. That's 542 more than we need. And we get a 5,000 damage total in the end. I think this game really was decided when we took the hill. They still fought back very valiantly, especially in the middle part. But in the end, it was just too much. We had too much room to maneuver in, and we were able to move around wherever we wanted to. And I did have a couple of misplays in there. I was a little bit too aggressive. Lost too much HP where I shouldn't have lost any HP. If it would have gone into an area where it was going to be really critical that I needed to have HP, it was probably going to be a bit more tricky for me. But generally speaking, nice game. Very quick round. Didn't take us very long. I think we should have a timer somewhere. Like, how long was the game? Usually it is displayed 5 minutes and 11 seconds. So yeah, these are like rolls. Unfortunately, there are a lot of these rolls nowadays, but it was still going to be quite a exciting little end part there. But I'm gonna upload this, you know, because I wanna upload more gameplays where I do kind of talk to you guys and show you what I think, or at least what I am planning on doing. I'm not the best player by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have a little bit of experience, and that experience comes in quite handy, especially when you're playing a tank like the Leopard 1, which has barely any armor. And I still have to free mark this tank because it's one of the vehicles I really want to free mark. Currently sitting at 78.21%. I haven't checked what it takes, but it must be somewhere along the lines of at least 4,000 damage. At least I guess it's gonna be 4k damage. But yeah, a very fun tank. Review is in the works, and I hope you guys did enjoy. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, have a good one.